Malia and her mother have a close and loving relationship. But they didn't have an easy start. Miriam Schmidt-Ertl had wanted her baby. But once Malia was born, Miriam was hit by postpartum depression. That was 3 years ago, and it's still painful for her to remember that time.
Wenn ich mir das ansehe, dann sehe ich dann
When I look at these pictures, I see myself holding my 2-month-old baby, but without any pleasure or joy.
Sondern total desinteressiert und schon.
I was completely detached from her. I just wasn't really interested.
Totales Desinteresse und.
I was listless and withdrawn. And I didn't have any maternal feelings. Today it's really hard for me to look at those pictures. I can't bear it.
Ist nicht schön.
Miriam was overcome with depression. She couldn't sleep, lost her energy and her appetite.
I was completely paralyzed, incapacitated. It was hard to get out of bed in the morning, to do everything that had to be done.
Das alles hinzukriegen.
At first, Miriam and her husband assumed she had the baby blues, linked to changes in hormone levels after giving birth.
The thing was, it didn't clear up. It got worse. She only did the bare essentials, changing nappies and bathing the baby. But she didn't do it with the sort of love you'd expect.
It was a sign of a serious problem.
If the baby blues last for longer than 10 days, 2 weeks maximum, then it's no longer baby blues. It's a depression and you need to seek medical advice.
Miriam didn't see a doctor. Her depression went from bad to worse. She felt like a failure as a mother.
At one point I was standing at a window and I was on the brink of jumping out of it. It felt like the only way of escaping my feelings, putting an end to my misery. I definitely had suicidal thoughts.
She never told me how she felt. If she had, I wouldn't have left her alone.
Miriam eventually sought help. She was diagnosed with postpartum depression, a condition that affects 10 to 15% of women after giving birth. The causes are unknown. When Malia was 2 months old, Miriam was admitted to hospital with her baby for a course of psychotherapy. She was also given a course of antidepressants and sedatives.
Many cases do have to be treated with medication. These days, there are psychotropic drugs you can continue to take even when you're breastfeeding. But it's vital that you consult a doctor before and while taking such drugs.
Miriam and her baby spent 4 months in hospital for treatment. It was a turbulent time for her husband too. This wasn't how the couple had imagined life would be as a young family.
To begin with, it didn't seem as though she was getting better, despite the treatment. That made me wonder if she was ever going to get back to normal.
It took almost 6 months for Miriam to feel well again. Eventually, the family began to settle into a routine, and Miriam started to reduce her medication. She says there should be a greater awareness of postpartum depression.
A lot of people don't want to talk about it. They don't understand it, and they don't want to think about it. We need to break this taboo. It's a condition many women suffer from.
Today, Miriam Schmidt-Ertl feels grateful. She can enjoy what she'd always hoped for, a happy family.